Written in the churchyard at Middleton in Sussex. Sonnet 44 by Charlotte Smith, 1749 to 1806. Pressed by the moon, mute arbitress of tides, while the loud equinox its power combines, the sea no more its swelling surge confines, but o'er the shrinking land sublimely rides. The wild blast rising from the western cave drives the huge billows from their heaving bed, tears from their grassy tombs the village dead, and breaks the silent sabbath of the grave. With shells and seaweed mingled on the shore, lo, their bones whiten in the frequent wave. But vain to them the winds and waters rave, they hear the warring elements no more, while I am doomed, by life's long storm oppressed, to gaze with envy on their gloomy rest. Okay, this is a sonnet by Charlotte Smith. Charlotte Smith was the precursor to the Romantic movement. Let's see, William Wordsworth said or wrote that she was a poet to whom English verse is under greater obligations than are likely to either be acknowledged or remembered. Well, maybe he was wrong, because she's still remembered for it, although by the mid-19th century she was completely forgotten. Let's see, this is one of the elegiac sonnets which she wrote while she was in debtor's prison with her husband and her children. Okay, so her husband owed money and they were in debtor's prison. This is one of the poems. Now, what's this about? Okay, I need to give you some more background to this. In Middleton in Sussex, this is Middleton on Sea, there's a churchyard, and this church is close to the sea, and the sea has been eroding, taking away the land that was and the cliff was getting closer and closer and closer to this church. So the sea was eating away the land, and the tombs were falling onto the rocks below, and the sea was slowly eating into it. This is something that she went to see. I think the sea was something like 20 yards from the edge of the cliff was about 20 yards from the edge, or there were only a few feet left. But later in the 1830s, this church collapsed completely and went into the sea. So this is the scene. Now, this poem, it's about the power of nature, the power of the moon, the power of the tides, the power of the wind, and this is it has the power to effectively to wake the dead or to move the dead from their tombs. And then, as any good sonnet should, for the last two lines we have a volta, we have a change, and then she actually says that she sees these people who come from their tombs, but perhaps she envies them because life is so hard and so difficult. She has to continue along the long and difficult path of life, whereas these people are now at rest and they don't suffer the problems of life any longer. So, pressed by the moon, mute arbitress of tides. So, the moon, personified with a capital M, is the the judge of the tides. It's the person who decides the tide, whether the tide comes up, while the loud equinox its power combines. Well, the equinox is the longest or the shortest day of the year, but I think this is talking about the tide or the water being combined with the wind to make a storm. And the sea no more its swelling surge confines, but o'er the shrinking land sublimely rides. So the sea and the wind are blowing the tide or the waves against this cliff, and the cliff is collapsing, and the sea is slowly moving forward, and the land is shrinking. The sea, the waves are slowly over the centuries destroying the land, and they're going to eat away completely this cliff and the church. And this is the equinox, the mixture of different effects. The wild blast rising from the western cave drives the huge billows from their heaving bed. So the wind has escaped from the cave in the west that holds it, and is blowing the huge billows, the huge waves, to crash against the shore, to crash against this cliff. And the wind is stirring up the waves, and this is showing the power of nature. Tears from their grassy tombs the village dead, and breaks the silent sabbath of the grave. So the tombs which are on the top of the cliff are falling into the sea, and the sea is tearing the dead from the local village, the people buried there, from their graves. And the sea, or the nature, is breaking the silence of the grave, the silent sabbath of the grave. So is destroying their eternal sleep, their eternal rest. So the power of the sea is crashing against the cliff and eating away the cliff. With shells and seaweed mingled on the shore, lo, their bones whiten in the frequent wave. And the bones of the dead have fallen down, and these are mixed, these are mingled with shells and seaweed on the shore below. And you can see down there the bones of the dead as these waves crash in. But vain to them the wind and waters rave. They hear the warring elements no more. So the raving, the madness, the power, the storm of the wind and the waters, this doesn't affect them anymore because they're dead. Yeah, this is only now attacking their bones, their mortal remains, but not them. They hear the warring elements no more. So the war between the water and the wave and the different elements, this is not something that they can hear, because they're dead, they're gone. And here is the Volta. While I am doomed, by life's long storm oppressed. So my life is doomed. I am doomed to suffer the long life of the long storm of life. I'm alive, and I am tied to living through the difficulties of life, the storm of life, remember she's in debtor's prison at the moment, when this is published, to gaze with envy on their gloomy rest. So she's looking at the sad remains of these people, but she has a twinge of envy for them because they no longer suffer the problems of life. They're no longer oppressed by the storm of life, and they live through this, and they've now died, and the world cannot oppress them any longer. And she feels a twinge of envy for them because they're out of the storm of life. Life can no longer affect them. So enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you soon. Bye for now. Written in the churchyard at Middleton in Sussex, Sonnet 44 by Charlotte Smith.